Brice Carter with Financial Strategies Group here. I'm here for FSG TV episode number 2. I have a very special guest with me this week, JT Nulty with Frontier Asset Management. Welcome on, JT.
Thanks, Brice. This is exciting.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you here. So, JT is visiting us from Atlanta with Frontier Asset Management, which is headquartered, interestingly enough, in Sheridan, Wyoming. And you guys advertise on your website how far from Wall Street it is.
We are 1,490 miles from Wall Street.
That's what makes them different. So
many things. That's one of them.
So how long? We've been working together for a while now. I want to say it's 5 years, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Really close to that. As a matter of fact, I remember right when I first started, it's been about 4.5 years, one of my first trips was out to see you all in Flint. We're out in Flint, and I had family from that area, and they mentioned a certain burger place I had to try. So I scarfed one of them down
Burger. Halo Burger.
About 10 minutes before our first meeting. So, it's been almost 5 years.
Yeah, I think I met your boss, Dan Cupertino, in Chicago, and he said, you got to go see those guys. They're brilliant. I think he said something like that.
It was pretty close to that.
Yeah, something along
brilliant
those
was the word used.
So tell us quickly a little bit about Frontier, what you guys do, how you get started, how much are you managing now, those kind of things.
We are out of Sheridan, Wyoming, of all places, where you mentioned. Gary Miller is the founder of our firm. Him and his nephew. Very interesting. Very interesting. Gary and his nephew Rob founded Frontier in 2000.
Okay.
Gary's been in the investment world since the mid-'80s, but Gary and Rob started in 2000. 2002, Jeremy Van Arkel, who worked with Gary most of the 90s, came on. They are actually our portfolio managers and the owners of our firm. So since 2000, we've been Frontier Asset Management. We are out of Sheridan. Our size, we're a little over $3 billion. We like to consider ourselves boutique. We actually don't work with everybody.
You've got to be one of the biggest firms in the state of Wyoming.
The joke is we are the largest investment firm in Sheridan. If you find a $20 bill, you're the second largest investment management firm in Sheridan. So
I've been there, and their name embodies that town. Yes. Frontier Asset Management. I think the biggest building in town is a saddle store.
Yes.
Yeah, and if I'm not wrong, the Queen of England bought a saddle from there.
Yes, we are very proud of that in Sheridan, Wyoming. That's right. Yes, that's cool. A great memory. I actually forgot about that.
It was a fun fact of the tour. So you've been with Frontier for 4 years now. You guys are at $3 billion in AUM, and you've had a lot of growth in recent years. And the staff has grown too. Your team's gotten big. I mean, I used to know everybody there.
Yeah, I was when I first met you, I was employee number 13. I think we just passed maybe 41 or 42 employees, and I think that what I always like to talk. I've been in sales for a long time, and I think what really separates us as a firm, we're an investment management firm. I mean, we have 4 CFAs on staff. I think we have almost every CFA in Wyoming. We have 4 CFAs on staff. We have over 7 analysts in the investment department itself. So that's there's over 11 people already just working on our portfolios.
Right. Well, and that's where that goes into a little bit of how you guys work with financial advisors, right? I'm a financial advisor. I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to investments, but I do other things, right? I know what the Roth contribution limit is in a given year. And,
I don't.
Right. And so you have a team of people that you just do investments.
Yes.
So talk about that a little bit. How you work with us, how you work with financial advisors. It just and what your role is.
Great question. My role is really I'm kind of like the start of the whole thing. When you go to a restaurant, I'm the host or hostess. I'm trying to introduce Frontier to advisors that want to work with us through different avenues and channels. And my job is the initial education. What excited me when I started meeting with your group and is you were interviewing me as much as I was interviewing you, and that's how we like to have it. We don't work with everybody. It's important for us that that the advisor understands our product, understands the way we work. And you mentioned it. You have a whole bunch of different things. I mean, you've probably done 3 or 4 different things in the last hour where
including this.
Yeah. Where in Sheridan, all we're doing right now is working on the portfolios. That's our only job. We're not a marketing firm. We don't have a Twitter. Well, we do have Twitter now, but we can't help you with your Twitter. Our job is to manage the portfolios, and that's all we really do.
Well, and you guys have done a good job of it. I mean, we're not here to get into a deep dive on performance or those kind of things, but I did want to ask you, since you see a lot of financial advisor offices, a lot of firms, you visit a lot of individual advisors, what are you seeing out there right now? What are the trends? What's going on?
A couple different things. One of the things, just in the last year and a half, we've seen a lot of advisors are asking me, what do you have out there? I'll have a lot of advisors, a lot of clients are coming and asking for social responsible investing. They're looking for different avenues to invest. They want to feel good about what they're investing in. And that's something that, thankfully at us, it's something that's very important to us. We don't need to go deep into it, but we do have a lot of that available from Frontier Asset Management. Christian Worldview portfolios, yes.
It's actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Last episode, we talked a lot about biblically responsible investing and investing, in a faith-based manner that is consistent with your values.
Yes.
Right. And that's what that portfolio embodies. And that's one of the things I really love about your business operation.
It's a passion for Rob and Jim, who are the portfolio managers for those portfolios.
It's very interesting. And you guys have a lot of resources that you can put behind that, because it's tough to construct a portfolio, but it's harder to construct a portfolio when you put a values-based filter on it.
There is not only a lot of filtering from just computer-based filtering and modeling, but there is a lot of visits, a lot of going out to those managers, et cetera, even more than you can imagine. From
the due diligence on that is just next level.
Yeah. And then it's kind of like the other way is really interesting. It's a lot of advisors they have two clients that they really need help with. They have their older clients have been with them forever. They need to know where they're going next in their life cycle. And the biggest switch I see right now is, how am I going to handle their sons or their grandsons or their granddaughters? Because now they're starting to invest. They're new
the next generation of wealth. Yeah,
and they get. Yeah, I've never done one of these. I'm 50, but my daughters are all excited. They think I'm going to be a YouTube star, but. They need someone to help them manage their money also.
We need to make this guy a star. Like and share the video.
Are you supposed to point down bottom or something like that? But a lot of advisors are saying, JT, they think I'm younger, which I guess is a good thing. How do I work with younger advisors? Right. So that's really the other big trend I see out there. Is what can you offer me as a wholesaler, but more important, what can your firm offer, my younger investors?
Clients, exactly. Yep. So I guess this goes kind of along that lines. This next question is for years, Frontier, since its inception, has been primarily an active manager using active funds, actively managing the asset allocation. Yep. And there's a trend in the industry towards passive. Right. We've seen it partly because of the DOL and some other things, and you guys came out with some passive strategies recently. So is part of that to work and complement those smaller portfolios, those younger people that want to get going?
That is the answer. Yes, that is absolutely the answer. Why, in a smaller portfolio, an ETF strategy probably makes more sense as they're younger,
lower cost, passive funds.
Right. They probably make sense. But in the end, and you mentioned it, our core portfolios are active managed portfolios with active mutual fund managers. But we actually use indexes currently in our active managed portfolios.
One of your biggest holdings.
One of our biggest holdings.
Index fund. And I think that might be what gets lost a little bit in the active passive debate. If it's a debate, is it's not black and white, right? It's not all in. And I think you guys have embodied that since your formation. Is there's a time and place for active management, and there's a time and place to buy the index really cheap, right? And so I think that gets missed, and I'm glad to see that you guys are embodying that. And
we're just trying to build the best portfolio. Yeah, in most cases, the active manager is the best for that asset class. But if it's not, we're not going to put someone in there just because we're an active manager. We're going to put what's best for the portfolio. Long-term treasury is a perfect example. Some of our commodity exposure is also in indexes or passive type management.
Yeah. So there's a lot of investment management firms out there. You guys are over 1,000 miles from Wall Street.
1,490.
1,490, almost 1,500, right? Yep. And you have a lot of the Wall Street education there. You have Jeremy and Gary go way back in traditional investment firms. Right. What makes Frontier different?
It's my favorite question. Okay. There's a lot of things, and I don't know how much time we have. There was a lot of things. But I think the most important really goes back to us as a firm, and I mentioned it earlier, Gary, Rob, and Jeremy own our firm outright. Okay. We invest side by side with the investors. We don't have any shareholders to listen to. We invest in the exact same portfolios that the investors have access to.
So John and Jane 401k, if I put them in Frontier's portfolios, they own the same as the employees.
They own the same as the employees.
Depending on risk tolerance,
Right,
of course.
right.
Disclosures.
Yes. Yes, they own the same one. All we do is money management. That's all we've been built from the beginning just to do that. It is to build the best portfolio, not only for us and my future and my family, but for the clients, the exact same.
Yeah. Well, it's been great having you here.
I loved it.
I'm excited. We're going to make you YouTube famous. So that's going to wrap up FSG TV episode number 2. Be sure to like and share the video, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you. Thanks, Brice.
Yeah.